Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Talkinsen. Sorry, before I begin this video, can we just celebrate? Celebrate me getting to the threshold of YouTube. Okay, listen. The journey ain't easy, and doing it ain't easy. We got to that place. Perseverance, patience, consistency works. Okay. And talk about perseverance, patience, and consistency. We'll be looking at things to do with healing and forgiveness. Yes. Okay, so listen, there are plenty things I think about. My thoughts are like ocean of thinking of various things. Okay. So one of the topics in my head that has been ruminating since last year. Okay, and coming up to Easter has become stronger considering the season of Lent that we are in. Is about healing or forgiveness. And do you know what? Because I've been listening to quite a lot of people giving advice on this healing, forgiveness. I feel like the narrative in itself needs to be explored further, and we really need to ask ourselves, is it healing? Is it forgiveness? What do the person need? What do the person hurting need? What do the other person or the two people in a party, 3 people, 4 people, no matter how many people in a particular situation that requires forgiveness and healing, which one comes first? Healing or forgiveness, and where and at what point? Okay, there are different things that has brought this video up, but considering we're going through to Easter, going into Holy Week, and throughout this Lent period, we've been hearing forgiveness. Okay, we'll be hearing a lot more forgiveness comes the Holy Week. So I decided to bring this topic to you. But before I do so, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Subscribe. Listen, we hit 1,000. We need to hit 2,000, 3,000. Growth is part of this channel's ministry, goal, and ambition. So Talkinsen is here to grow. Okay, and support more people. Don't worry, that part I'll talk about a whole lot in a different day, different video, different time. Anyways, let's just begin this video. So let's talk about healing. I wanted to prepare a lot of like biblical things to talk about healing, and I've been doing this for some time, since last week or 2 weeks ago. Actually, since 2 weeks ago, I've been trying to prepare my mind to do this topic, but it's just quite hasn't formed. And the more I try to make it so biblically focused and just hit various verses, various Bible chapters, the more it became daunting. So my spirit told me to just do it freely. On Sunday, me and my spirit, the Holy Spirit, thank you, we're communicating. And he said, just do what you have already thought about. I've already put things in my mind to speak about and how I want to approach this topic in my head. So I'm going to speak as it comes to me. I hope you understand. So let's talk about healing then. I guess healing in itself is a process, okay? And so as forgiveness. And forgiveness being that you aim to forgive someone for wrongdoing. And this wrongdoing can be recognized by you and by the other person or people, or could only be recognized by you, or could be recognized by just the other person. So when we talk about forgiveness, then it's important to kind of digest for us what forgiveness means. What does forgiveness mean to us? What would forgiveness mean to you? when you actually understand what forgiveness means for you, then you can seek for it or engage in the act of forgiving. Okay? Forgiveness itself is very voluntary, it's not forced. You can't force someone to forgive. And the reason why I actually wanted to do this video is because for quite some time, for some number of years, we heard the message of forgiveness. But I think in recent times, I realized that sometimes some people, the narrative that they push forward is almost like, if you do not forgive, you're going to go to hell. If you do not forgive, you're going to be condemned. If you do not forgive, like so and so. Is more or less like a coerced form of forgiveness and forced forgiveness. And the more I listen to it, I realize you can't force someone to forgive someone else. Neither can you guilt trip a person to forgive. Okay? Any of those acts will be involuntary. Okay? Because it has not taken that person the time to process what has happened. Because perhaps what the person needs is healing and not forgiveness. Okay? Perhaps that's what the person needs. So I think that's why I wanted to just put the question across: forgiveness or healing? Okay? In my own reflection, they interlink or intertwine with one another way too closely. You can't do one without the other. But each one takes a process, and sometimes one of them comes first before the other. So when you're talking about forgiveness, it could be forgiveness for everything, okay? And forgiveness simply reduces anger or heals whatever that has hurt the other person. So you as a person need to think to yourself, what does forgiveness mean to me? Better yet, I will always advise to journal it down or write it down. What would forgiving so and so would do for me and do for the other person? Because when you're looking at forgiveness, you have to look from both sides, for you and for other person. When you look at healing, you have to look from both sides, for you and the other person. Forgiveness brings healing, yes, because if we look from the Bible perspective, various times Jesus said, I forgive you, and he heals. I forgive you, and he heals. Okay, though some people had issue with that, the people that were healed didn't have issue. I'm sorry, can I repeat that? Observers had issue. The people that were healed did not have issue. Now, why do I even put that across? Because when it comes to forgiveness, it's between you and the other person, not everyone else. It's not the crowd. The crowd cannot be included in your forgiveness spirit. Perhaps the crowd can encourage and cheer on the positive aspect of forgiving, but their opinion should not deter you to forgive if you choose to forgive. Okay? Forgiveness in itself is a choice. Okay? I never saw it anywhere in the, I guess, the work of Jesus where he forced forgiveness on anyone. He spoke forgiveness. Okay? Even when the Pharisees, scribes, and whoever were condemning him, questioning him, discrediting him on every platform, trying to intimidate him, even trying to kill him. If we notice throughout those things, okay, Jesus did not go about holding grudge on those people. But here is what he did. He defended himself throughout. By his action, the doubters were silenced. By his words, they were taught. So, I honestly like the person of Jesus, okay? We need to study more about the person of Jesus, and studying more about the person of Jesus has helped me a lot in life to understand some of these spiritual matters that we have, okay? Both spiritual and mental. So, in every situation, you must learn to defend yourself, okay? To protect yourself, from hurt, okay? And one thing I learned about forgiveness and healing is that both cannot take place in a place of hurt, okay? In most cases, than not, it's difficult for you to forgive someone who is beating you up, okay? If someone is choking you, you're not going to say, I forgive you, I forgive you. No. If so, I mean, I guess it depends. If you're being battered, if you're being, what's it called, shot at, you're not going to be shouting that. Your first instinct as a human is to defend yourself. So therefore, you must learn to articulate yourself like Jesus. Learn to defend yourself in the first place, at least put barriers in place, and also know how much you can take. Because if you notice, Jesus also put these people in their place. Because there comes a time when you have to draw the line. How much can I take from this person or from these people? Okay. So when it comes to forgiveness, then we need to look at what hurt us, how it happened, where the fault is from you, where the fault is from the others. Okay. Before we can even talk about forgiving, because forgiveness is a process, it's not one thing. Forgiveness is a process, and it takes time. You can forgive someone today, but your mind needs time to process everything that has happened to find healing. And this is where healing becomes more important at the latter part of forgiveness. But from the other side of my reflection, I realized that at times you first need to heal before you can forgive. So when I mention forgiveness is the process, before someone is actually able to heal, let's think about it for those who are in domestic violence. Before they can forgive in most cases, although I think one thing we need to think, forgiveness is not necessarily about moving on. That's not forgiveness, okay? Sometimes you can move on without forgiving someone. It's just that you have accepted what has happened and you choose to move on. But when it comes to healing, when you heal, your forgiveness becomes more impactful, because whatever it is that has hurt you no longer have that strong effect. So when you forgive, it seems like you've let go of all the burden. So my reflection here is that one may not precede the other. Okay, whilst it's generally seen that forgiveness precedes healing, I like to think you need that in this situation. This is the argument I'm making. I agree with that narrative, but I'm just looking at from the other side of the coin. Sometimes healing precedes forgiveness, because until you heal from your hurt, you cannot necessarily come to full forgiveness, as each one takes time. Time is a healer, okay? And also a process, mental process, spiritual process, physical process, whatever process that you need. Now, why do I say this? Now, if we go to the cross, I've already said that during Jesus' ministry, there were plenty people against him, and he had to continue with his ministry and not pay too much attention. And never am I insinuating that Jesus had issue with these people. He loved them, but they didn't. Some of them didn't. He loved them. He showed them kindness. And talk about kindness. Have you heard that saying, kill them with kindness? Because at times you can't really fight with your enemies. You just have to continue being kind. People that don't like you will never like you. Just be kind. Just be nice. Just do you. Okay? But at the same time, he still did him like Jesus did. So even at the crucifixion, the people that didn't like him thought that they won. Little did they know that just promoted his ministry. Okay? But if you notice, that was the point that we heard that Jesus said, I have forgiven you. Because the hurt, I'm looking from a layman perspective here, the hurt has finally come to an end. You've done your worst. What else could you do? I mean, that's the worst that a human being can do, is kill another. So that was it. And he looked at them and was like, "Chat, you wouldn't even know. I wish you knew what was going to come after this whole thing. Do you know what? I forgive you." I mean, he didn't say it from that, but was it good? Sympathizing or way or whatever way I just put it across. But he looked at them with love and said, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." Okay? But I think what I wanted to promote here is that healing at times precedes forgiveness, and healing comes with a price in itself. It comes with intention, it comes with time, it comes with grace. Where you find yourself in a place of hurt and you find it really difficult to forgive, sometimes what I've learned from at least the Holy Spirit prompting and inspiring is to just speak the word of forgiveness. I release it in the atmosphere. I have forgiven you. I have forgiven you. Even if your mind and spirit is not in alignment at that point, just verbalize it, let it go. Try your best to move on with your life, asking for God's grace to fill you, to heal you, okay? Because the only person that can really heal you is God. There is no magic to healing. Grace upon grace is required to heal from whatever has hurt you. Release it. Release the person if you have to. If both of you were in bondage by this whatever that hurt you, okay, and then move on with your life the best you can. But equally know that if you were wronged in any situation, God knows how to avenge for you. He knows how to judge in a way that actually works best for you. So just release it, and you know that as long as you have released that thing to whoever or to whatever, that are forgiving you, even at that time you may not be feeling forgivable, forgiving to say, you may know that in the future, at least you have said that even if you don't see that person again, it becomes for you to heal. Okay? It means that then in the future, you're not looking back like, I need to go to this person and say, I've forgiven you, or we have forgiven each other. But you have done it before, and you go back your business. Okay? But go about your business. So that's my own reflection. So if you think to yourself, which one preceded for you, wherever you have been hurt before, which one was the first that came for you? Was it forgiveness or was it healing? Okay? Was which one, or both had to be in place at the same time? I don't think both really have to be in place at the same time. Most of the time, they are not. One comes after the other, but they still have to interlink with one another, depending on what you're forgiving of on. Please, I'm not talking about trivial things like I'm talking about true hurt, and I used an abuse as an example. So, forgiveness or healing, that's the question. Or please do put your comment below if you want, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Equally, I want to inform you of my blog where I have actually done a prayer for annoyance and anger, in case that is what you're experiencing. I believe it will really help you. Talkinsen.co.uk. Check that out. Another thing I have done on my blog is shown you how to reflect on whatever that is your issue, whether be it despair, depression, anxiety, whatever hurts. And this will also apply to this situation where you really try to reflect upon what has hurt you and how to go about healing from it. Okay, so until next time, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And signing off, Talkinsen.